All right, so economics, money making, entrepreneurship, community economics, social economics. Let's get into it, man. This is a very pertinent video right now. You see the Occupy Wall Street things happening all across the world, over 2,000 cities. Very proud of my people for holding that down and holding the financial system accountable, or taking the first steps towards holding the financial system accountable. But this video is going to be a basic 101 on the principles of economics, the principles of entrepreneurship, how we can use those principles to revitalize ourselves, revitalize our economy, our local economy, our national economy. Everything, man. It's the answer to everything. Because it's the system that we've set up. We set up a system based on buy, sell, trade. So we have to know those principles in order to really thrive in that system and to know what we're doing. Because right now, as a community, we do not know what we're doing with our money. We spend, I think, in the trillions, maybe like $1-2 trillion. There's no lack of purchasing power in anyone's community, in the Black community, white community, Latino community, any community. There's no lack of purchasing power. Even in poor communities, there's no lack of purchasing power. It's just where we're spending the money and what we're spending that money on, and what is coming back to us as a result of spending that money. So this is going to be a long, comprehensive video. It's going to have a lot of different components into it that may be jumping around from here to there, back to here. But trust me, in the end, it's all going to come. It's all going to be full circle, and it's all going to make sense. And it's just critical right now. It's just critical right now. So just bear with me, and let's bring some economic freedom to the people. Yes, because the dollar has been holding us down for too long. The debt has been the concept of debt has been holding us down and holding us enslaved for too long, man. We got to change our relationship to money to get free, because until we figure out a different system that's not based on money, it takes money, dollar bills to make it in this system. If you do not have money, and you do not have enough money to buy food, it is not guaranteed you're going to eat. If you do not have enough money to put a roof over your head, it is not guaranteed that you will not be sleeping outside. So we got to take care of each other, man. And by taking care of each other, we take care of ourselves. And that's the whole premise of community economics. So let's jump right into it. Oh, the spirits are hot for this one. This is going to be a good one. All right, so let's do this. Community economics. So first thing I want to say is, the first thing I want to say is, like I say in all the videos, fact check everything. Fact check everything. You never want to take anybody's 100% word for anything. You always want to research, get different perspectives, and come to your own conclusions. So fact check everything, because we're going to be going over a lot of information tonight. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Ancestors is in the house. They tired of seeing us like this, y'all. Come on. All right, let's do this. All right, so first thing. Second thing. Take these principles and apply it in a modern context and apply it to your context. So we're going to be talking about economic principles that are going to make us successful as individuals and make us successful as a community. But we're going to be talking about some historical principles. We're going to community economic principles, some theoretical economic principles. So it's important that you take the theory and put it into action, and you put it into a context that's going to work for you, right? So I'll touch on that a little bit more as we go on, but I just wanted to set that standard that you have to take these principles and put them into the modern context, 2011, and wherever you may be at, and also your context, your personal situation, your finances, your resources, your network, your immediate environment. Okay, so that's that. Let me see. So the biggest misconception, or the biggest thing that needs to be known about community economics, and let's define it first. Community economics is an economic system that in theory and in execution provides for the greatest benefit of the most amount of people. It provides the greatest benefit for the common good. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about community economics. And so the biggest thing to understand is that what is good for the community will be good for the individual. As the community thrives, so shall the individual thrive, who is a part of that community. Okay? So, if you're a regular human being and you want to see other human beings do well, other good people do well, then this system is for you. But even conversely, but even the other side of that, if you don't want to see other people do well, no, let me not say it like that. If you're selfish and you want to see yourself do well, your best interest is to see the community do well so that you will also do well. So even if you're selfish, which you shouldn't be, but even if you are, your best bet to survival in these days and times is making sure the community is successful, because you will therefore be successful. You cannot lose when the community does not lose. Okay? You can only lose on your own. And you can't win on your own. So let's start making this math work. You know, what's good for the community is good for the individual. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that in a minute and get into more detail about what exactly that means in a minute. But before that, let me say this. The biggest thing that we are gonna need in order to flip this economic situation around, because that's what this video is all about, taking our current economic situation where a few people are eating, a small group of people are eating, and a lot of people are starving, and balancing it out to where everybody can have everything they need in order to survive and live happily. Because it's not just about survival. There is no lack on this planet. Okay, we literally have infinite resources until the sun goes out. Okay, plants will not stop growing. They grow in a cycle. Okay, we have more than enough food. We have more than enough water. We have more than enough land. It is not evenly distributed, which is why it seems like there's a shortage. It is not evenly distributed. Okay, so that's key to understand. There is no lack. There is no lack, and so therefore no one should be lacking. We should not have people starving to death and living outside, living 10 feet from people who have, water flowing out of every faucet in their house, flowing out of their shower. People in developing countries have to walk miles to get dirty water. I can go in my bathroom right now, click on the faucet, run it 24 hours a day if I can pay for it. Right? That's not balance. That's not balance. So that's what this video is about. Creating the ideas that are going to create this system that's going to balance everything out. Okay, so I told you this is going to be some video. There's going to be some knowledge dropped today. We are going to get into it, but please stick with it. It's very important. And let's live these principles. So I was going to say now, the biggest thing that's going to happen in order for us to flip this economic situation into our favor and balance things out is that people's hearts have to get right. They have to get right. And what does that mean? That means we have to start operating with a level of integrity and honesty and honor when it comes to dealing with fellow human beings. What do I mean by that? Okay. There is nothing inherently evil or unjust about capitalism. Just like there's nothing inherently evil or unjust about socialism or communism or even fascism or any kind of ism, that you want to create or throw out there. It's not inherently evil. What's evil is the people who have control of it and who use it for personal use or for elite use. It's the people running the system that determine the nature of the system. If you have corrupt people, if you have the best system in the world, organized top to bottom, tight, no loopholes, if you have corrupt people running it, it's going to operate as a corrupt system. If you have a system that's run by righteousness and truth and justice, ma'at, we get ma'at in this, you're going to have that reflected in the system. You see what I'm saying? So capitalism is not the problem. It doesn't matter how we organize the society. We can organize it in any number of ways, infinite number of ways. It doesn't matter. What's matter is we get ourselves together. right? We got to get ourselves together. And we got to deal with people who operate with a high level of integrity. And we have to operate these systems with a high level of integrity. We can make capitalism work. We can make socialism work. We can make communism work. And everybody can thrive under any of these systems. Everybody on planet Earth can thrive underneath any of these systems if they are ran with a righteous intent. The best, the most best for the most number of people, do it for the common good. Period. But on the flip side of that, if it's propelled by greed and selfishness and the idea of lack, then no matter what system we put in place, it's not going to matter because the system is going to fail. Right? So before we even talk about economic systems that we can put in place, economic principles that we can put in place, none of that is going to matter if we don't get the heart right. If we don't start treating each other better, seeing each other differently. Not as enemies, but as brothers and sisters. Or if we don't vibrate on that level, then at the very least, we have a common respect for each other. That's the basics. We got to get that. We got to get that. And I cannot emphasize that point enough, that no matter what system we put in place, if we do not have our hearts and minds right, it will not matter. It will end up the same way this system has ended up. But on the flip side of that, if we get our hearts and minds right, then no matter what system we put in place, we will be successful. Okay? So, now, that being said, oh my goodness, energy is high on this one tonight. Let's get into this. This has got to be critical, man. So, as a community thrives, the individual thrives. What does this look like? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? We need a network of entrepreneurs. That's what this is about. Buying, selling, and trading does not work without the critical component of sell. Right now, we are buying. As a country, as a community. When I say a community, I happen to live in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I happen to be part of the African American, quote unquote, you know, whatever label they're putting on us or we're putting on ourselves today, community, you know. But I see myself as part of a bigger cosmic planetary community. But at the same time, so when I speak, I'm speaking in that context, but you can put it into your context, wherever you may be at, whatever group you may think you're a part of. Because at the end of the day, another principle that we're going to have to get into is that it's not about, unfortunately, it's not about who you think you are or what you're a part of. It's about who can you link up with that is going to have that communal mindset, right? Because it doesn't matter if somebody looks like you if they're trying to tear the community apart. And you have somebody over here that doesn't look like you, who doesn't practice the same religion as you, who's not from the same part of the world as you, but he wants to see the community thrive. Who you gonna go with? The person who looks like you just because he looks like you, but he want to tear the community apart. This person that doesn't look like you, but they trying to see the community thrive. Okay, so that's another aspect of this that, you know, we're gonna touch on a little bit later. There will be knowledge drop tonight. It is going to get deep and it's gonna go all the way. But anyway, what we want in any given community, wherever you may be at, is a network of entrepreneurs, right? And we already talked about this. There has to be a level of integrity. There has to be a level of honesty, and also when it comes to a network of entrepreneurs, which you in the community, what you want is quality products. Because I'm not going to come, even though you're a member of my community. I mean, I might for a little while, but I'm not going to keep coming to you and buying products if the quality is low. Because I'm making my money too. I want to spend my money on quality. You know, I might come to you once or twice, but if I see that it's of a low quality, that's bad business. That's bad business. I'm not going to spend money with you just cause off the strength. At least I'm not going to do it for very long. You know, so we need a network of entrepreneurs, but we also need the products that they produce and the services they produce to be of a high quality nature, competitive with what, you know, we're used to receiving. So let's get into part two.